Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
Truth, lies, shenanigans. 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 Tune in to TLS. Yeah, tune in to TLS. It's the TLS show. Coming to you live from the TLS show.
Hey, welcome to Truth, Lies, Shenanigans podcast. Social commentary, hot topics, amazing guests, with a ton of fun and shenanigans along the way. This week's podcast artist, Neli Nenkova, is joining the show to tell us about her new art studio and her amazing art project called Dream Women. We'll also try to get her insights on women's rights in America. Then later in the show, we'll talk about Fox News executive Rupert Murdoch admitting Fox News was endorsing false election claims. Christina Aguilera promoting anti-aging injections, and Idris Elba saying he doesn't want to be called a black actor. And we also have to address some truly disturbing allegations against one of our former guests. Before we get into the podcast, let me introduce you to my co-host. First up, student, college student, model, business owner, streaming from Atlanta, Georgia, Miss Gianni Storm.
Hey guys, happy Sunday fun day. It was a beautiful, beautiful week. I actually enjoyed walking my dog this week. That's new.
Oh, Sasha.
But I know. But Neo, it's your fault. I have to blame Neo really quick because he suggested me to go to Five Below to get some headphones for the podcast. I go to Five Below, I get headphones, beauty products, dog toys, a calendar that I don't need.
Yeah, that's the way it works at Five Below. Yeah.
So,
Five Below
yeah,
Dollar
it's your
Tree.
fault. Yeah, it really is. It really is. I was like, I didn't think I needed all of this, but somehow I do.
I mean, it's amazing. You go to the dollar store and you walk out spending $100. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah, easily, because you don't think it adds
And
up.
you
But
know,
it always does.
What are you saying, Rob?
I was going to say, then you know you've got a problem, man. If you're racking up $100 bill at the dollar store, or you're planning a party. If you're planning a party, I'll give you that.
Right.
Well, I mean, there are times where there were parties involved, but I'm just saying, sometimes, I don't think I've ever
That's too
spent
much.
okay, so maybe I didn't spend $100 walking out the Dollar Tree, but Five
Easily
Below,
50, 60.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some good stuff at the Dollar Tree. I don't know. I'm
And-
still boycotting Dollar Tree though because they increased their prices. They're no longer just $1. So
You're right. They
still-
went up
I'm
to
still
like
boycotting.
$1.25.
I'm still boycotting.
$1.25.
Oh,
Too
please.
much. Too much. They sold me
Oh,
on the
please.
they sold me on the everything's a dollar thing. Now they can't be switching it up now. All right.
Capital.
All right. So next up, we have our nature lover, gamer, rock star coming to you from Ontario, Canada, Mr. Rob B. Rob.
What's up, everyone? It's good to be here. It's if I'm being honest, I had kind of a tough week from a mental health perspective, but I'm feeling better
All
now.
right. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
I came across some old letters that my brother had written leading up to his suicide in 2003 that I'd never seen
Oh, wow.
before. And it took me to a dark place. I did end up taking a few days off of work just to process and help me reset. I leaned on my wife for support. I reached out to a few of my closest friends. And really, I am glad to say that I am feeling much better after talking things out and just taking some time to myself. It was just,
Good.
it was a lot that it was unexpected, right? But on
Yeah,
the plus
for
side,
sure.
winter's slowly wrapping up in Northern Ontario. And as it gets warmer, we're starting to see critters that we haven't seen in some time. So that puts a smile on my face. And yesterday,
it.
my wife and I took a beautiful walk on the lake just up the street. It was sunny, it was beautiful, and it really helped to clear my head. So I'm feeling great tonight, and I'm ready for another great guest and some interesting topics.
Robbie, I'm happy you're feeling
Oh,
better
Rob.
because I know it's
Yeah,
tough
Rob.
sometimes. You had a rough week, so Sorry to hear that, buddy.
And thank you for being
Thanks,
honest
man.
with that. A lot of people, and men too, I don't want to be sexist, but men don't always share deeper feelings like that. So it's good that you were able to be open with that. That means that you have like some level of emotional intelligence. So thank you, Rob.
We try to promote mental health as much as possible, and we promote, asking for help and, reaching out to others if we feel that someone needs help. But if you don't ask for it yourself, you're putting yourself at a real disadvantage. So I'm glad that I've fostered a rich circle of friends and I have a good support network.
And I'm glad you took that
Good.
week off too to kind of just clear your
Yeah.
head, relax. Yeah, because sometimes you need mental health days. I mean, you just need to
Mhm.
put yourself together because
Yes.
sometimes you try to work through and deal with issues and it's impossible sometimes, or it's you
Yeah.
don't
It's better
really,
to rest. To
yeah, just kind of.
be
I'm glad
productive.
Jose was there for you as well. He's awesome.
Of
Absolutely.
course.
Yeah.
We love
Okay.
Joe.
All right. And my name is Neo Nix. So I got to tell you guys, I am still personally in shock. As you may or may not have heard, a frequent guest on this podcast, the now former mayor of College Park, Patrick Woollyon, resigned on Thursday, just prior to being arrested and charged with 56 counts of child pornography.
Mm.
So we at Truth Lies Shenanigans were both shocked and disturbed to learn about the arrests and severe allegations against Patrick. His alleged actions are inexcusable and reprehensible and do not represent our morals or values at Truth Lies Shenanigans. As a result, we have ended any affiliation with him. But let me quickly give our audience a few of the details as we know them so far, and then I want to get some of your feelings about these awful allegations. So the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children notified the Prince George's County Police Department on February 17th that a social media account on an app called Kick possessed and distributed what they suspected to be images of child sexual abuse. The police said there were videos and an image that had been uploaded back in January, and this past Tuesday, detectives served a search warrant on Williams' home, where they see cell phones, a storage device, a tablet, and computer. And the police said he was cooperative, waived his Miranda rights, and admitted the account was his, and he provided passwords to his computer as well. On Wednesday, he sent a letter of resignation as mayor to the College Park City Council, and on Thursday, he was arrested and charged with 40 counts of possession of child exploitative material, which is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 5 years in prison and $2,500 fine. He was also charged with 16 counts of distribution, which is a felony punishable by up to 10 years in prison and a $25,000 fine. If you know your math, that's a maximum of 360 years. So this is a very serious allegation. I'll reiterate, for legal reasons, these are allegations, and more details and information and additional charges may continue to come out. And in future episodes, we will work to get more in-depth information and keep you updated on this story. But real quick, let's just get some real quick thoughts on this, Robbie. Why don't you start?
I was shocked. I was disgusted. I felt this grossness in the pit of my stomach. And it just goes to show that you really never know what others are doing behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Because someone who presents as very positive, as very community centric, as being a champion for those who are disenfranchised, to have these kinds of allegations weighed against them is significant. It really is. It's a darn dirty shame. It really is a dirty shame. It's just, yeah.
Yeah. Me too. I mean, I agree with you, Rob. What's interesting is my friend actually heard about this on the Shade Room. And I mean, when I heard about this,
Made national news.
my jaw dropped. I was in shock for like minutes. It was very shocking, but also because mainly the fact that he was a mayor, and like Rob said, like these type of leaders, leaders in general that have these type of allegations, it weighs heavily. So, heavy stuff. Very,
like-
very disgusting. Very
Like Rob
disgusting.
said, it goes to show you just never know people. You never know what people are doing. I mean, Patrick was a very popular mayor. He's won every election by landslides. He's been a huge advocate
Wow.
for LGBTQ community. I mean, from the news reports and them interviewing neighbors and stuff, no one suspected it. And you know how I feel
That's
about
usually
child
the way it
abuse.
goes.
Yeah, that
You
you don't
wouldn't,
know, right?
right?
Right, that you don't know, right?
When they interview the closest circle, oh, I would have never guessed. I never suspected. I would have never imagined this about them. Yeah.
And on the show, I've talked a lot about child abuse, so you know how I feel about it. And for me, this was one of the worst allegations that I could imagine outside of the actual abuse or
Yeah.
maybe murder or something. So
Literally.
it
Yeah.
goes without saying that someone that I respected at some point. I'm extremely disappointed and hurt personally by these allegations.
Mm.
I just shocked is the only word I could come up with. When I saw the news report, just shocked. I just never would have suspected it. This is one of the things I never would have suspected. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Completely out of nowhere.
shocking. All right. So it's time to move on and switch gears to something a little more uplifting. Let's get a little more
Yes.
excitement. We have a great guest today. For today's spotlight, we have Canadian artist, gallery owner, Neli Nenkova.
Wonderful.
Hey, Nelly.
All right. I am
Hello,
very excited. Hi, Nelly. We're very excited to have with us Neli Nenkova. Born in Dobrich, Bulgaria in the 1970s, Neli took up art at an early age and earned a bachelor's degree in fine arts and fashion design, as well as an advanced diploma in graphics design in university. She's currently based out of Sudbury and chooses women as the dominant subject of her powerful work in a provocative approach that addresses contemporary issues in society today. Her artworks can be found in public and private collections in France, Bulgaria, Italy, Germany, the US, Japan, Turkey, the Vatican, name drop, Canada, etc. So now the exciting part. So as you mentioned, Neo, Neli's art and design studio will officially be opening in Sudbury at the beginning of May. So for you locals, it's located on John Street near Bell Park, the former site of the Art Gallery of Sudbury. She's already started working in the studio on new artistic projects and paintings inspired by her life in the North. And visitors to the gallery will find the first 11 paintings of a 21 painting project called Dream Women, a passion project that she started a few years ago that will probably take a few more to complete. But the work showcases women of the 21st century and depicts how globalization has made us more similar. So please welcome to the show, everyone, Neli Nenkova.
Hey, Nelly.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much.
So
Hey,
now,
Nelly.
before we begin, Nelly, I have one question that I need to ask because you are a first-time guest. Please tell us something that we cannot Google about you.
Yes.
First of all, thank you so much for having me. It's a real pleasure. You said almost everything about me. No, just kidding, but what you can find, probably people don't know that I often watch sumo tournaments with my husband, who is crazy about sumo.
Sumo
Yeah.
tournaments. That's amazing.
Yeah, this is a sport which is not very popular, but maybe because he's very interested in this sumo, and I'm interested in Japanese art and print and everything, the Japanese culture, and it's kind of a very very good to know more about this culture, and yes, this is one of the things.
So-
There are way more. I don't
Very
think much
interesting.
on internet about me. I try to focus more on my art and my travels because I love traveling. But yes, so thank you so much for inviting me in the show and to share some of my projects, which actually what I want to share that as you said, I'm a Bulgarian/Canadian visual artist.
Slash
And
Canadian. I like that.
yeah, because I can't and I don't want to escape of my my roots
Of course.
but even if even if I appeared like a Canadian, as soon as I open my mouth and people, okay, she's not from here. She doesn't anyway, but I want to say that I'm currently working on several projects, which are, because as I said, I'm doing art and I do graphic design as well, printmaking, but I also do design off and on. Sorry, I work for the movie industry here in Sudbury in Toronto as well.
What is it again? Could you repeat it? What's the movie?
She works in the movie industry.
Movie industry.
In the
Got it.
movie industry. Yeah, so I've been working, I work for a different position based on like who hired me. And so the last one which I was working was, for a potential, for a movie who hopefully will be produced soon. And it's a topic hopefully it's going to be produced because the topic, like the screen is amazing. And it's called, I'm not sure that I have to tell because it's a secret now. But before that, I was working on another movie. I was the first assistant art director, and that movie was released last year and participated in several festivals and even won an award. And you can Google it, as the name is The Protector, and most of the Protector, yes, and the main designs were designed by me, and I'm pretty happy.
That's amazing.
There's some very cool artwork from that. It's very cool.
And
Protector.
I definitely enjoy working with the different mediums, and sometimes when you're stuck with your canvases, but your paints, and right now, like even today, I'm very close to finish. A few more days. So 2 years ago, I was asked to design a book, like the cover and the actual book of one of the greatest masterpiece of Albanian literature. The book was written in 1930s by one Albanian author. Yes, his name is Terios Pase, and it's a book about life, the meaning of life. And I'm very honored to create the first English edition of that book. Yes, that's a big. Yes, it's a challenge as well, but I'm very glad. And so the book was translated by an English diplomat, and it's we are working in a very small team, but it's hopefully we'll have a very good impact on the, we will bring something incredible on like in the world, because this book is really very good, but it's because it's written only in Albanian, and right now like we will have it in English, so more people will read it, and everybody's asking. Everybody asks himself, what's the reason of life? What's the meaning of life? And I kind of, in this book, you can find at least a little piece of that.
That's amazing. So you have this project called Dream Women, and I see behind you the images, the paintings behind you. Those are the originals, I assume.
Yes, those are originals, and I started several years ago, and. So far I have 11 paintings, and but a few more has to be created. So the goal is to have 21 pieces, which will represent the woman of the 21st century. Women of the 21st century, and actually this idea came years ago when I came to Canada. I've been living in other countries, but when I moved to this part of the world, I have more and more cultural shocks, and I realized that the globalization changed a lot. The mentality and the other things that, because
Yes.
when you move to a new place, you kind of adopt the new culture, and the first
Yes.
generations keep it, and they try to pass it to the other generation, but it's not necessary that the generation will keep it. So for me, I wanted through this project to show that women, and not only women and men, but I decided to go with women because women in general is like a main subject in
Yes.
my art, so that we're all the same, like, but at the same time we're different, because
Yes.
based on our cultural background. So, and that's the beauty, that we belong to different places, but at the same time we belong to our cultures as well, and that we don't have to lose it. And the idea behind this project is that I try to capture, because 21 pieces are not, there are 195 countries, and that's what I can't do
Wow.
in
Yeah.
lifetime. That is a lifetime project. So, but the whole idea, I wanted to capture those type of ethnic groups, or ethnic minorities, or even some professions which are not longer exist. For example, let's say I have a bullfighter, woman is a bullfighter, but because of the animal cruelty right now, something which was a tradition back in Spain, right now, like the woman can practice bullfighting. There are another tribe, let's say Miao, it's one of the 56 minority in China, where they wear a big hair of their ancestors, and it's like they kind of keep the tradition. And even people with the red hair, because of the mixture between other people, other marriages, and their study says that after a while they will kind of disappear. So it will take a long time, this project, because before I start every individual painting, I make a big research, and some of them are political. I was inspired by real people, like, for example, like, I don't know if you see some of them, but like here I love documentary.
Is that someone from China?
Yes, from North China. That's a real. Her name is Parker, and so she escaped North China, from from a very difficult conditions. I personally, I also grew up during the communist time, so and then when we talk about rights, I moved to Canada, and then I realized that moment I realized that we're similar and different. I have a friend of mine. We studied together graphic design here in Canada, and she's from St. Lucia. She's from St. Lucia, and once we talked about the women rights, and that we have to fight and things like that. And I will be honest, I'm not a feminist, like, in that extent. I don't like anything like in a certain extent.
Right.
I'm a very balanced person. So she said, we have to fight for our rights. And I said, what you talking about, Willis? Right?
What you talking about, Willis? she said, what you talking about, Willis?
Yes. Yeah. Why we have to fight? Like, for me, it was something new, because, I grew up during that time in the communism, like, we're supposed to be equal.
Communism,
so for me, I've never struggled with this. Okay, I am lower than the man. So for me, it was something new. And then, people fighting for, and it took me a while to understand, the issue which women have.
So,
Because,
Neli,
Yeah, sorry.
Let me ask you something. So, with yours being your projects, or most of your projects being about women and women's rights, are you doing one for the United States or for America, but that's going to
American.
include like abortion rights or anything like that? Or because in America, women's rights are being trampled on. I mean, you can't control your body, for medical procedures alone. I mean, so I'm curious, is that something that you're going to tackle?
So definitely, United States is one of this P. It
Okay.
will be that, that's for sure. But I'm pretty sure it will be Black women.
Black women, I
Uh,
love it. Even better
the other
for me.
as I said, I'm not a very opinionated. I have an opinion, but
Mhm.
very rarely share it because imagine 100 people in one room, and that's 100 different opinions. It's opinion. Everybody has an opinion, and I'm not
Yeah.
a person who impose myself. And I believe that my tool to change. To change someone mind, and also that's not my goal to change someone's opinion, but through my art
Yeah.
I use it
I,
as a tool
I was
to
gonna say,
say
it
my
looks like
message.
you're sharing your opinion. It's just through art. I see your
Yes.
opinion when
Yeah.
I'm looking at these images. I see your opinions. They're in
So
the art.
yeah, so this is what I like. For example, for Syrian, if you can see them in the photo, is not very good. But when before I started doing this painting, everybody was touched by the war in Syria at that time, and so it's see Aleppo when it's one Asian city full of history and culture, and was like destroyed, completely destroyed. And the woman, she represents the mother, she represents the sister and the lover, who is she lost everything, and she's kind of a ghost behind her, the old ruins. So, but also, before I started, I watched a documentary, and it was like, even right now I have a goosebumps. And it was a man who was walking in the ruins in his home, and he was singing a very sad Arabic song, and I read the subtitles was under, and he said, "God, you taught me how to love, but you didn't taught me how to survive when I lost everything."
Mm.
So, everybody everybody have in their lives, moments when we lose people we love, but it's not good to lose those people in that way, in these conditions. And so most of my art are related somehow with today's issues, or the issues which, like, unfortunately, even this project which we talk about women, it's I realized that despite the fact that technologically we are very advanced, and we are getting better and better and better and better, it's like a reverse. We become very much primitive,
Mm.
because I don't understand. For me, it's like I really don't understand how in the 21st century we didn't learn those lessons, which people experienced
Yep.
like
Yes.
80 years ago. Like, literally, for me, it's like the and I even in a moment, there are moments when I stop watching news, because no matter when you click, I watch Al Jazeera, I watch CNN, I watch CBC, and every sources which I try to follow, there is a conflict,
Everywhere.
war, and people fighting, and it's too much. You can't
Training. Yeah.
follow everything.
Gianni,
And that's the thing. And if you think, what's the reason of all of those things? And it's all about power and
yeah, it is.
fame and power. And
Right.
even in art, I can see it, and I don't like that. And
Yeah.
probably because I'm not a very pushy person, I'm not a very ambitious, let's say.
Mhm.
Because people in general, they know that if they shock community and everybody around them, they have the attention.
Yeah. Right.
Which is they use this trick in everything. But for me, my main focus is to bring beauty and to bring message to the world through beauty. And I believe, like, coming to Canada, like, I always use woman as not woman. It's not because I don't like men, don't understand me wrong, but I think my strength. My strength is,
That's what
women.
you know women, right? Let me
Right.
let me
So,
real
yeah.
quick. Let me get Gianni. Did you have a question? I just
Yeah.
want to make sure because we're running a little bit short on time.
Yeah, sure.
So,
No,
Gianni,
I wanted to I kind of wanted to, I guess, pivot and go a little bit deeper and ask, where did your creative journey begin? Yeah, where did your creative journey begin? What made you get into art and inspired to be an artist, essentially?
So what happened is that I started in a really very early age, at the age of 11, and so as I said, I was part of during the communist time, when they try to find some good skills which kids have, and my talent was discovered by my art teacher, and then I entered in this art school, and I think at that time, at the age of 13, I knew that I really want to dedicate my life in art, because through art you can say a lot. As you know, before, even now, they use art as good or bad things, for propaganda, even if you think, but I mean,
Yeah.
yes, and later on, because the funniest part, it's not funny, but it's interesting part. Uh, when I was 16, because I was interested in art and music, and when I was 16, I started a career as a singer, as a pop and dance
you're a
singer.
singer.
Yeah, that's right. I
Wow.
forgot about that.
Yeah, and I won the TV competition similar to Music Idol, but it was a little bit different format. Yeah. So at the time when I was
Wow.
in this art school, and during my studies at university, I studied fine arts and fashion design, and I had this career. I'm maintaining two of those. But when the time came, because after you won this type of competition, and the industry wants you, I realized that it's not an easy path to follow. Plus, I didn't want to do things which are against my belief. I mean, it's my principles. Let's say, not belief, it's principle.
Yes.
But in a good way, like for a very short time, I made a name, and it's for a young girl, it's good to walk. Oh, nice. But then
Yeah.
I wasn't a very I'm not that extrovert as it looks like.
Yeah.
It came along that I wanted to focus on my art, but it actually, it's a long story. But I don't want to. It's a really long story.
Awesome.
So I started when, like, probably 20 plus years ago. I was a greeting cards designer for the biggest greeting card company. So I was at that
Hallmark?
time. I was
American greetings.
in
Can't be American
very similar
greetings.
to Bulgarian version of
Bulgarian.
Hallmark.
Oh, you're Bulgarian.
But what happened is that, because at that time, as I said, I was interested in origami and kirigami. Kirigami is, origami is when you fold paper, and kirigami is when kiri means cut, which means those pop-up cards.
Oh,
Open it.
cool.
This is
That's cool.
Yeah.
this is
Wow,
kirigami.
Natalie,
I have a quick question for you. So, so we talked about this a bit in the past. AI generated art. We've talked about it on the show a few times. I actually started creating some of my own stuff. It's actually turned out pretty decent. But I'm curious. Do you think that AI generated art would in some way replace true artists?
No,
Artificial. Yeah.
No hesitation.
No. Actually, like it's very interesting. It's funny. It's not funny. Probably it's not the right word, but yeah, but even digital art and as you said, art, it's very easy to switch. I mean, to be created, but
Yeah,
at the same
it takes
time,
literally minutes, but there's always flaws in
yeah,
it. Every time I've generated something, there's always minute flaws, and you can see them. But
yes,
I mean, it's going to get better with time, right?
yeah, but still, when the museums won't disappear and people want to see real art.
Real art.
There is,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, to see an art on your screen and to see the art in real are two totally different things. I was
Yeah.
I was in Detroit and I've seen the art, the murals of Diego Rivera, and I stood there for 2 hours, and it's not such a big room where he did a kind of a he designed the process in the the process of Ford in the Ford manufacturing, and it's like he put not only like the whole process and the whole but ideology, and like there is so much thoughts behind. I've seen more and more instant things in those type of digital art. Everything is instant and not that much thoughts behind, and that's that's my big worries, because people started living, talking, and they don't think too much. They don't put deep thoughts
Yeah.
in. And even in conversation, it's very even hard for me to find people with whom I could have decent, deep thoughts about life, about different things. Because for me, that's the most valuable things. At the end of the life, you will remember those. Time spent with people and experience you have. Like
Absolutely.
I want to create experience more, more
agree.
memory,
Right.
Yep.
memory than money, because money you can earn and money you can learn very not very quickly, but you can earn and you can lose money. But memory is something very individual, and those memory are only yours.
Yep.
And it's
Yeah.
there is one very beautiful poem by I forgot the name. He said that there is no path. The path is made by walking, by you.
Ah, you
There-
create the path. Ah, I love that.
I love
Yeah.
All
I
right.
love that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we are out of time. And I
Sorry.
definitely want to. No, I loved listening to you. It's wonderful.
I know.
And I want to thank you so much for joining us. But do you have any last words that you'd like to share with our audience? Maybe something to leave them with. And then can you tell people like how they can reach you and tell them about your gallery and where it is?
Yeah, so currently my studio is in Sudbury in northern Ontario. It's located as Rob said, in the 2220 John Street, and it's I'm still working. It's already done, but I mean the official opening will be on May, the beginning of May.
Love that.
And yes, and people, this is gonna be a spot where people can come and just interact with me. And the other things I just want to share with others, and just to tell you, just be honest with yourself. That's the most important thing, just to be honest with yourself. And that's and keep smiling, keep shining, and be you. That's the most important.
Sound like the
Love
lyrics
it.
to a song I know. I love it. Thank you, Neli. It was a pleasure listening to you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you so much.
make
so
sure you
much,
check out Neli Nenkova. All right. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
All right.
It was a pleasure.
It was fantastic.
Nelly.
Your
Yeah,
comments
actually,
Such a vibe.
I crossed paths with Neli professionally at work. She was brought on board as a graphic designer in our communications unit. So I got to know her just through work, and we shared about our personal passion projects. I talked about music, my granddaughter, she talked about her art, about
She's
her husband,
awesome.
her travels.
I like
The
it.
energy the energy that she has is radiant, and we need more of Nelly. We need
Yeah.
more people
A
like
few
that.
comments online. Jose says, absolutely beautiful. Sherry Blaine Savory says, real art will never be replaced. Nothing better than taking in an artist's expression. And Jack and Rom says, I love that art is subjective and is only limited by the artist's imagination. Love that. Love that. All right. Great guest. So let's go ahead and get into some of our hot topics. And Robbie, you're going to start us off with that.
Truth, lies, shenanigans.
Rupert Murdoch confirmed Fox News hosts live for ratings. Tell us more.
Right? What an interesting week in legal news. So, Rupert Murdoch admitted in a deposition that he did not prevent Fox News on-air personalities from repeatedly airing baseless allegations made by former President Trump and his cronies that the 2020 U.S. presidential election was stolen. So, this is according to extracts from a deposition involving Murdoch that were unsealed on Monday as part of a $1.6 billion defamation lawsuit against the cable news giant filed by Dominion Voting Systems, company founded in Toronto, Canada. So in the unsealed documents, Murdoch indicated that he was aware that some of Fox Network's commentators, such as Lou Dobbs, Maria Bartiromo, Janine Pirro, Sean Hannity, endorsed the voting fraud claims. When asked if the news personalities endorsed the false claims, Murdoch replied, yes, they endorsed. So now, given that these lies have been widely accepted across North America, what responsibility does Fox News bear for the damage that they've done to the fabric of society because of these lies and rhetoric? And should we really continue to brand them as a news network, or should we relegate them to entertainment news?
He's also so they're also being sued for allegedly sharing Biden ads in 2020 with Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law and presidential advisor. So, and the people suing him are a nonprofit called Media Matters, and they said they said that Fox News is, quote, a nefarious attempt by people in power to operate a press entity as a political organization. So I think they said it perfectly. I mean, this obvious that they're no different than those white nationalists, QAnon people created their own dumb news networks. You know, I mean, news has always been opinionated or skewed one way or another. Fox News was like, F it. We're just going to go all the way. We don't even care.
They were
at this
extreme
point.
with it.
I mean,
Yeah, they were
crazy.
for sure extreme.
Go ahead, Johnny.
Yeah.
No, I was to answer Rob's question on should they be allowed to be branded a news network. I don't think so. I mean, you guys got to think about it. People still watch the news and kind of believe everything that goes across their screen. So for them to be a very influential news network and to be spewing out extreme lies, I mean, no, they don't. They don't deserve to be a network, or a credible one anyway, because there's a lot of networks, like Neo says, that have their own like agendas going on. But
I mean, Fox News has their own agenda going on, and they've actually they haven't been shy about saying what that agenda is. It's to promote the conservative agenda. So they're not shy about that. But I think they go way over into the other, when you're looking at a spectrum, they're on the other end of the spectrum. They're real close to those QAnon people.
Right, and that's it. Speaking of those QAnon people now,
close.
Because now the organizations are going after Fox News. So now what about the individual who is sitting at home consuming this news at face value and saying, you know what, they're right. And on January 6th, I'm going to be there with the rest of the bozos, and we're going to take it back because it's lies. It was stolen from us. So what about these people who can now say, okay, we were led down the garden path by Rupert Murdoch and his entire menagerie of online news personalities. I love using air quotes every time I'm talking about Fox and News. Fox News.
It's funny. It's funny.
I mean,
But-
it still may
but
be hard for
seriously.
them to be found guilty, though, Rob, because I read in the article that it's actually difficult for the media outlets to be,
Yeah.
because of the whole defamation thing. You would have to be very specific. You would have to have like direct
Information,
quotes.
freedom of speech. It's a
Oh,
whole
yeah, but
lot. Freedom of the
Dominion
press.
voting rights Dominion voting rights has theirs laid out in front of them, because Fox went after these people deliberately with all kinds of stuff. That Dominion voting was initially founded by, like, in Venezuela, like Chavez. They were
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
all sorts of crazy stuff. And at the
Sounds
very
like
top,
defamation to me.
Rupert Murdoch knew it was going on, right? Yes, they endorsed.
Yeah.
All right.
Jacqueline Robinson
did.
says, Fox is clearly a propaganda arm of the GOP. FAUX, Fox.
Fox News, FAUX,
Faux.
absolutely. Faux news. Faux
Faux
news,
news,
not
for
faux
sure.
you.
I always comb
I don't trust any of them.
I always comb Fox News for like information and topics, and once in a while I'll actually watch just to see what they're talking about a specific topic. And I was actually looking up information on Patrick Willian, and all of them were like, pretty straightforward. Patrick Willian was, child pornography and all that good stuff,
Explaining.
all that stuff. So, but Fox News was like, disgraced mayor called Pete Buttigieg a mentor. I mean,
No
that's the only
way.
thing they had to say about that. That's crazy, right? Fox News.
Fox News.
Fox News just
Get
always
him off the air.
Fox News always takes that off approach to it. It's like, really?
Yeah, to stir up some type of emotion or some type of like shock value. Like,
I
just deliver accurate information. That's all we ask of you. That's all we wanted.
I can't mess with Fox News. Fox News is all over the place, man.
A mess.
Fox News has lies.
Yeah.
Lies,
CNN.
lies and shenanigans.
The video version of The Inquirer. Almost there. Almost there.
What are you talking about? Inquirer has true stories.
Literally.
Yeah.
Inquirer
Bat Boy.
was
We need to know more about Bat Boy.
cult classic.
Inquirer is a true magazine. What are you talking about?
Neo.
Lies,
Crazy.
This is truth, lies, shenanigans.
You know what this is?
That's
This is
some
a whole
truth
side of
based on some shenanigans. Truth born of
shenanigans.
shenanigans.
Some natural born shenanigans.
Jacqueline Robinson said, unfortunately, they are part of the basic cable packages and aired on our military bases.
And actually, there are petitions circulating from cable subscribers to have Fox News removed from their cable bundles. So those petitions are going around.
Oh, they're done. That's crazy.
Oh.
All right, I'm up next.
Right.
Lies, shenanigans.
All right, this past week, one of our own Lizzie's many celebrity boyfriends, Idris Elba, responded to backlash after an interview with Esquire UK. And in an interview, he says, quote, as humans, we are obsessed with race. And that obsession can really hinder people's aspirations, hinder people's growth. Racism should be a topic for discussion, sure. Racism is very real. But from my perspective, it's only as powerful as you allow it to be. I stopped describing myself as a black actor when I realized it put me in a box. We've got to grow. We've got to. Our skin is no more than that. It's just skin. Rant over, end quote. So immediately, of course, social media and Twitter, Black Twitter, blew up, saying basically that Idris was denying his blackness. So he snapped back, saying that his words were overly scrutinized, taken out of context, and thrown into some sort of bullshit social media argument. He said, quote, me saying I don't like to call myself a black actor, that's my prerogative. That's me, not you. So for you to turn around and say to me, I'm denying my blackness, on what grounds did you hear that? Where am I denying it? And what for? It's just stupid, whatever. So, like to get your thoughts. Do you believe that Idris Elba is denying his blackness? I'm going to start with Rob B on this.
Where is he denying his blackness? I mean, nobody's going to look at Idris and think to themselves, oh yeah, he could pass for Caucasian. Absolutely not.
What are you talking about?
But he's asserting his independence from the labels that everybody else wants to subject society to. The industry wants to label him as a black actor, and he wants to be recognized as an actor. I applaud him for it. I know personally, I would never want to be referred to as that white musician or a white musician. I want to be a musician. That's all I'm doing. Is I'm creating music for everybody.
Have you ever been referred to as the white musician?
I am. I represent the white. Yes, come on.
Just a curiosity question. I mean,
no, I can't say that I have.
It's possible. But people get singled out. I mean, right? Because it's possible that you could be referred to as the white guy on Truth Lies Shenanigans.
True.
Well, I mean, I could be referred to as the white guy.
With today's color mix, maybe, yeah.
If I fix my lighting a little bit.
But right. I don't know, when you put labels like that, I don't know. I find it cheapens what you do when you feel a need to compartmentalize what I do into a color box. It really cheapens what I produce, what I do.
All right, Johnny.
That's my opinion.
Denying his black.
I mean, he's quite literally denying being black by saying he's not a black actor. Like that's like literal in the sentence. Like, I'm not a black actor, I'm just an actor. But I feel like Idris, labels help sometimes. I know people don't like being in boxes and labels, but I feel like when you're claiming you're a black actor as just opposed to an actor, and you're a successful black actor at that, it's almost like we say representation. It's almost like being proud of where you came from, being proud that you're black and was able to do it. So I mean,
first black James Bond. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
As opposed to just James Bond.
Just James Bond, yeah.
And so James Bond.
And what Idris was saying in the article was like, we need to get over racism and stop talking about it, essentially, and to grow from that. And I agree. But tell the little kids in my neighborhood, like tell the little black kids in the ghetto that, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just an actor, and people see them and directors see them as black kids. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's so typical for famous people to, for black men to become famous and kind of deny where they came from. That's very typical. And I know that not everybody would agree with me, but it is. They do that. And I kind of understand it, but
so let's see. There's a challenge that we have to deal with, and the problem is racism and the history of racism. So I agree with you.
Exactly.
I agree with you, and I agree with him as well, because you don't denying your blackness, or I don't know that he was denying his blackness, but he was just saying he doesn't want to be called a black actor. But what that does is now little kids look to him who have been socially, ostracized. Now they're looking to him as a way to come up. Like, oh, I can be there. They're looking to him as
inspiration.
Right. It's right. Mm-hmm. That's the inspiration to get to where he is, to do what he's doing. And then by denying, hey, I'm not really a black actor, I'm just an actor, it hurts that inspiration. But
that bond, that's true.
But right, and this reminds me of when Morgan Freeman was on like 60 Minutes and said he doesn't agree with Black History Month. He said, is there a White History Month? Or, I don't want a Black History Month. There's no White History Month. Why do I want it? Right?
That's a terrible Morgan Freeman.
Not talk about Morgan.
I don't know Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman. I can't do Morgan Freeman. Maybe you could do Morgan Freeman better. But look, I've said it over and over again. Right? Race is not based in anything tangible. It's not based in nationality. It's not based on a specific shade of skin. I've seen some very well-tanned white men who define themselves as white, extremely well-tanned, probably is my complexion, right? It's not even based in DNA. You can't even say, I have white DNA or black DNA. You know, there's no clear
Oh.
definition of what a white person is versus a black person at all. You know, it's made up. It's whatever we just look
Literally.
at somebody and say, you're white, you're black. You know, I look at Rob, somebody's going to say he's white. Gianni, she's black. But, you know, you can't, the problem is, you know, people don't like to be labeled. I personally don't like to
Yeah.
be labeled. And anybody who doesn't want to be labeled, I support it. You know, if I want to self-identify as a black person, then who do you say I'm not, right? Now, if I want to self-identify as a white person, who are you to say that I'm not white? My DNA says I'm basically half and half from Europe, half from Africa. If we're defining it by
Are you-
nationality or DNA, shoot, I'm whatever I want to be.
You sound like that one lady that she was white, but she like made up a
Yeah,
whole
and the
story
teacher.
about her being.
But,
Yeah,
but,
Rachel,
But,
I
our DNA is from Africa. We originated out of Africa. So what? Is she not black? Is Rob not really black?
claimed.
I mean, his DNA originates
mean,
out of Africa.
If we go back far
That's
enough,
true.
it's from the west coast of Africa.
Yeah. So I mean, all I'm
I
saying
mean,
is, you know,
racism is a construct, and I feel like when we talk about Black people and culture, we're talking about the experience, the Black experience. It's not just my skin color. It's what I've been through and the people I've been around and experienced. So you're right.
I just think we have the right to choose the labels placed on us, the right to embrace those labels, the right to refute those labels.
To reject those labels.
Yeah. And even more so, I should have a greater right to revoke or refuse like any arbitrary labels that you decide to place on me. It's different if I place some labels on me, if I say I'm black, you know, and
Right.
or if I say I'm white, or if I accept that and that's what I'm calling myself, you know, then that's fine. But if you're going to put these labels on me, I don't have to accept them. If you're going to call me the black actor, I don't have to accept that. And I'm cool with it.
That's
you know?
true.
I remember when I was,
Idris, I'm just saying.
I know we're out of
I'm just
time. I
saying
remember when I was a little kid, they used to call me, her nickname was Tony. And I hated it. I hated that name, that label, right? Now I'll call it a label, but
Tony.
oh my God, I hate
Why?
it. And that's how they would say it too, just like that.
Tony.
Yeah, oh my God, please stop.
Tony.
Please stop. It's really
Ew.
But I literally put like signs all over my house, little sticky notes. Tony is dead. Stop calling me.
Why?
Idris Elba was putting those stickers up. Black. I'm not a black actor. There, you know. All right.
Just
So anyway,
actor.
Tony's dead.
all right. So Jacqueline Robbins online. She says he's right. It's one of the reasons that the showrunners for the Bond franchise, said they said that he was too street for the role. He should be able to apply for white roles without being pigeonholed into being a black actor. One of the reasons Halle Berry was very successful as an actress is because she went out for roles that weren't necessarily written for her. And she got those roles, including the one that won her the Oscar. So, all right. Is this truth, lies, shenanigans?
Lies, shenanigans.
I mean, this is to me a little shenanigans
Shenanigans.
because why? I feel
Say
like
that,
Idris,
man.
you didn't even have to defend yourself.
Truth.
Neo thinks it's true.
He's right.
Okay,
Dude is
Yeah.
right.
whatever.
He doesn't
Stay out
have
of
to.
that man's business. If he doesn't want to identify as a black actor, shenanigans. Who are you to tell
He
him
doesn't have
that
to
he has
accept
identify
labels.
That way?
Get that? He don't
Yeah.
I mean, he's not obligated, but it would be nice.
I mean, I get the inspiration. I mean, we black people in America and worldwide have been marginalized because of their skin color. So I get it. And how do you raise them up? You usually raise them up by promoting them and saying this is fantastic, black is great, black is good. The problem is it labels you, and then it keeps you in that
Keeps you in that box.
pigeonhole. It keeps you right in that box. So you're always going to be the black people. I mean, the only way to move forward is to actually lose the labels altogether. And so he's right in that sense. It's just the problem is how do you also bring people up to get equal?
How do you do that?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Last topic.
Truth, lies, shenanigans.
We only have a few minutes, so we're going to have to make this a quick fire. So, Gianni, Christina Aguilera doesn't look doesn't want to look old. What's up?
Okay, guys, this is a fun and interesting topic for you today. So, Christina Aguilera collaborated with an injectable anti-wrinkle company. She's basically trying new ventures, apparently, but also wants to change the conversation around aging.
Mm-hmm.
So, which aging and ageism we've been talking about recently. Christina thinks the obsession people have with aging is outdated, and there is beauty in getting older. I mean, she said she personally finds it. I'm sorry, I personally find it an oxymoron to embrace natural aging by collaborating with a It's just weird. Like she's collaborating with a Botox company to feel confident
Right. and then-
about aging.
Right. She's like double
Like-
talking, right?
Yeah, it's so weird. But in Christina's words, she thinks that everybody has a different outlook with how they want to age. What works for somebody might not work for the other. So what do you guys think? Is our society going to look younger, or will we eventually and hopefully embrace the beauty with aging that comes with aging?
I don't think that society is trying to look younger per se. I think that there's a demographic that resists it as much as possible. And I feel bad for them because, I mean, like, why is it so hard to embrace your body as it matures? Being comfortable in your own skin is so much more admirable than fighting the process surgically. Christina Aguilera used to be a beautiful young woman, and now
Saying she's not?
I'm
is
saying that she is she's a pale reflection of what she used to be, Johnny. The Botox, the cheap fillers, the lip fillers, the jaw
It's
contouring, the boob job, the veneers. She looks more like a doll version of herself than she looks like Christina Aguilera.
Okay, gotcha.
To me, that's, to line yourself up with a Botox manufacturer and to be talking about, embracing your aging, it makes no sense. Makes no sense to me whatsoever.
I hear you. I've always said that I would grow gracefully, embrace however I looked when I was younger. I would say, I'm gonna just grow out. If I get gray hair, I'm gonna just grow out my gray hair.
Just let it rock.
And I definitely would never do Botox or surgery. But as I'm getting older and spending more time than I ever thought I was in front of the camera, right, like right now, I think I get it. Actually, I mean, many men tend to be accepted a little more because of their age. Sometimes they call what they call them, ruggedly handsome or whatever you call them, or something dumb like that. And women are treated much less favorably as they age. I get
Very
it,
much.
and not wanting to look old and maybe doing some minor things to supplement your appearance. Maybe do a little hair color in the beard, a little. I don't know. But especially when you're in the public eye like Christina, though, I get it. I feel it.
Mm.
I still feel like I'm going to grow old gracefully, but
I feel like when people do things like that, it's not anything to me like bad, but I feel like whenever like if you're getting like the grays in or your hair, you get the pepper, the salt and pepper thing going on, and people change the color. I feel like that's you not wanting to, like, you still kind of want to maintain that youth, like you still want to look like you did at whatever age you did, but I don't know how I feel about that. I think the only thing I don't like about aging is that I can't get up as easier in the morning and it hurts.
oh, that.
And it's like things
How
like
old are
that.
you? You
Jesus,
just
Johnny.
wait. You wait. It's gonna get way worse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
already.
dude.
Oh my god.
Wait till you wake
No.
up in the morning. Wait till you wake up in the morning and something hurts and you go, how the hell did I do that in my sleep?
Mark my words.
How?
37, 38. Just when you hit that age, you'll be like, what the? I mean, you will just be like, where are these random pains coming from? I don't even know where they're coming from. Why can't I
Does
get
yoga
up?
help? I need to lose it.
It does. That doesn't fix it, but
You're
it
like,
helps.
no.
All right, let's get to these comments before we go. Sarah Blaine Savory, all I've got to say is love the skin you are in. Stop trying to stop the aging
Yes,
process.
Sherry.
Just love it. Jose,
Love it.
Cheers.
aging
That's-
a privilege denied to many. Sherry also says, just wait, Gianni Storm. Just wait. Jacqueline
Sherry.
Robinson.
You guys are scaring me.
Oh, you have no idea. Jacqueline Robinson, I think we look younger because we have the means to take better care of ourselves with skincare, not plastic surgery or procedures. Plus, genes and
And this-
diet are a factor. Back in the day, a 60-year-old
Exactly.
grandma looked every bit her
Yeah,
age.
that's true.
And think of the Golden Girls. Think of the Golden Girls, because when
that's
that
right. They
ran,
were in
like
their
these are
50s and
women,
60s.
these are women in their 60s, and
Yeah.
that's how they were portrayed.
Yeah.
So we've changed what that standard is in society also. It's just like, okay, well, 60 isn't the end of the road. That's just the beginning of your retirement experience and joy. And we
Yes.
do have
A new
we
thing.
have better medicine. We have better food. We have a better understanding of health and nutrition. So yeah, take good care of yourself.
All right, let's get in our game show. Oh, wait.
Game
That's good,
show.
Rob.
Is this truth, lies, shenanigans?
Truth, lies,
This
shenanigans.
is, I think she's kind of giving me
This is
shenanigans, because
shenanigans.
why are we doing Botox?
Shenanigans.
Yeah.
I think she's
don't-
double talking.
But I
I'm
mean,
going with shenanigans on this one because she's like, it's like you should just let yourself age gracefully and then stick yourself with Botox.
yeah, what are you actually telling us to do?
It doesn't make sense to me. All right.
Christina.
All right.
Love,
now
love yourself the way that you are. Your lips could look a little bit plumper.
right. That's what she said. All right. Let's get our game show.
Horrible.
All right. Today's game we're calling Who Are You? We'll spin the wheel and the app will ask a question. You must answer truthfully with the first thing you think of, sort of like our old hot seat. We'll go around the horn and the audience, and as far as picking the winner, our online audience will pick the winner today, and the person with the most interesting answer. So our audience, we've got a few people online, so go ahead. You'll be picking the winner for today's game. All right. So we're going to go around the horn. We're going to start with Gianni Storm. Who are you? Musicals or plays?
That is a good musicals. I hate video musicals, but musicals because like it makes you feel good when you're watching it in person. Like you want to sing along. So musicals.
We're going to all answer this. Go. What do you say? Musical or plays? Robbie?
I enjoy both. Yeah. I enjoy both, but musicals are absolutely moving.
Exciting.
I love plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a plays guy. I like plays.
Neo.
I like watching plays. So I go out to plays all the time with the wife. Musicals, I don't know. They get too singy for me sometimes, especially if it's like all musical. I just can't get it.
Like the full thing. Yeah, I
mean,
that.
It makes sense that Robbie would like it. Okay,
Right.
who are you,
Why,
yin or
Rob?
yang?
Oh, I'm all yin. Very much the internal, very much me. So
I don't really know
yin.
the difference. What's the difference?
Yang is like external, like masculine, and
Aw.
yin is more feminine.
Oh, really?
Well, then.
I'm yang all the way.
Well, I'm all yang. Then. I'm all yang.
Call me yang.
Right.
With a little bit of yin.
Call me yang.
When you put it like that.
Call me yang.
When you put it like that, Johnny.
All right, someone made a movie about you. Who would you want to play you? Someone made a movie
Oh,
about
this
you.
is my dream. Okay, I always wanted either Zoe Saldana or Janae Aiko.
I don't know.
I've never said that out
myself
loud.
here. I don't know who I want to play with me.
Yeah, I want them to play me. Preferably Zoe Saldana. Or the girl from Destiny's Child. What's her name?
I say either Brad Pitt or Idris Elba.
Kelly. Brad Pitt? Why Brad?
I just pick a white and a black guys.
You're just trying to keep it.
It could be either one. Yeah.
Mix it up.
I'm gonna go with Daniel Radcliffe for me, just
What?
because. Oh my God! Just
that's
in the last little bit,
interesting.
I've caught interviews with him, and he is so quick-witted. He is so
He is.
sharp. Oh my God!
He's
really-
funny
and
too. I
don't-
like Daniel.
I mean, do it side by side. Don't we look alike? Both white.
Yeah, no.
I could see it like right here, like somewhere right here. I could kind of see it. Daniel
All right, we'll do two
Radcliffe. That's
more real
interesting.
All right. Who are you? Oh, do you like dinosaurs or dragons? Dragons. I'm all about dragons.
Yeah, I'm more of a dragon kind of a chick. If that makes
Well,
Makes
I'm
no
going to go
sense.
with dinosaurs because they were around and it's their bones that inspired the dragon myths. So
Oh.
I'm going to go with dinos.
Okay.
I like the dragons just because they're fire
Nice.
breathing. They're more interesting. They actually do something.
They fly. They do it
Fly.
all.
This is more.
Neo,
I like
do you
the
drive a
mystique.
car?
I
Do you drive a car?
I do drive.
Well,
I
then
drive semi.
dinosaurs sure hell do something, don't they?
No.
They move you.
Oh, that's true. Oil.
Thanks for catching up.
All right. Last one. All right. Do you miss anyone right now and why?
Aww. In this
Yeah.
moment, no, but I often miss my mom. Yeah. Because I
I
love
miss
her.
my
That's
bro
why.
because it's been that kind of week.
Yeah, that's a perfect
Yeah.
question for you. Yeah, I miss my brother
a
as
good
well,
one.
actually. I haven't been able to spend time with my brother much, so I miss him. So there we go. All right, yeah, but I bet you
Maybe
have been
he
missing
turned
your
it
brother,
down.
Rob.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, well, that is the game. So go online right now. Tell us who won. All right. Who gets the final thought for the show? Let's get in some shout out.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out, Johnny.
Shout out to all of the people and pets with seasonal allergies. Hang in there. It sucks, but you'll get through it.
All right, Robbie.
Dang, Johnny, you just reminded me what's on the horizon for me. It's not, we still have snow. We're not there yet. My shout out is to everyone who is currently struggling. You are loved. Don't struggle on your own. Reach out to your support network and tell them what you're going through. Seek help, and if you need to, seek professional help.
Love that
Thank
one.
you, Rob.
My shout out goes to the brown girl interrupting herself, Maria Cosme. She records her podcast live right after hours, 9 p.m. Eastern time. It's called The Pain to Power Podcast. You can go to her Brown Girl Interrupting YouTube channel. Check her out, 9 p.m. Pain to Power Podcast. All right, so far we've got Gianni Storm having won the game. Gianni Storm, good job. All right.
A sweep for Johnny.
That is officially all the time we have for today's show. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. Hope you learned something, gained a new perspective, or simply got some laughs in. We will be back recording our podcast live next week, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Don't forget, check out our video clips. Subscribe to us on YouTube using TLSShow.com. And look for our official podcast episodes on Tuesdays on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you listen to your podcast. And our winner for the final thought, Miss Gianni Storm.
Yay! It is Pisces season officially, so remember to go with the flow, everybody. Just take things day by day, and if you feel creative, don't be afraid to take out a paintbrush or draw or go outside. Just go with the flow and enjoy every single day.
I love that. I love that,
Love it.
Gianni Storm. All right. Also, I want to give a plug real quick at Black by AI. Check it out. I've been playing with some AI art at Black BY
Ooh,
AI. All
let me
right.
write that down.
At Black BY AI. Black by AI. All right. Thank you, Robbie Rock, Gianni, our guest, Neli Nenkova. But most importantly, we always got to thank you for listening to our shenanigans each and every week. Have a great week, everyone. See you next time.